So I'm going to go through a warm-up, which you could think of as an awakening. So this is best to do early in the morning. Ideally, you should do it once a day, and you're basically moving around. Probably takes 20 or 30 minutes, and you move around in such a way that you cause currents in areas of your mind that are usually not noticeable or ignored, right? So like I want to go out and run because I want to feel my lungs, right? I want to feel the blood pumping through my vein. I want to run. I want to feel the intent. I want to feel balance. And so I want to feel all these aspects of the mind and all these aspects of the body, which is the mind in the body, right? Like feeling the cardiovascular system, feeling the musculature and the viscera, feeling the cerebral spinal fluid and the central nervous system and the bones. Like as you go through the day on the phone or doing whatever, you're often not feeling any of that, right? But that's where like true intelligence comes from, true ability comes from, blah, blah, blah. Everyone says it's within. And so you want to for whatever reason, there's a constant force of forgetting. There's a constant force of entropy. And so it's like death is running into us all. And so there's a constant forgetting, right? As this like ablative force of time hits the body and hits the mind, it sort of burns you away. And it burns away like any sort of memory or any sort of understanding that you have of things, unless it's there, it's in the moment, but you can't access it, you can't use it, because like half of it burns away every day. So as you do things repetitively, this force of time is a current, is a wind that ultimately you're kind of using it to surf, but maybe you can't see that or feel that. And it's the fabric or the sail that you have to surf time is all of those things in the body that I was saying, like notice. And ultimately, like water is the greatest sail. Like if you want to talk about the sail that you use to kind of like navigate time, that sail is water. And yeah, that water like fractally innervates down into structures like the cellular structure, the fascial sheaths, the blood vessels, like all of that structure is there. So it's like, yeah, you can talk about this in terms of the structure, but ultimately it simplifies to the water, which is the thing taking that structure. Okay, so the memory and everything is in that. Anyway. And so if you're warming up, you're trying to access the system without really exhausting the system whatsoever. And if you're trying to like exercise or work out, you're attempting to access the system and then also go deeper into the system or realize yet more system or another system. If not necessarily like increasing the intensity of anything, like increasing the sort of depth. So there's Even if you go light, you kind of have only so much mental energy of things you can discover in one day. So you can burn yourself out, even in terms of like oversaturating the body map, like just in terms of like performance or whatever. so from the standpoint of like consciousness, every like weapon or tool or exercise gimmick is going to act like fins or paddles in the pool, or a pool buoy, right? Like any exercise or any stick that you do is enhancing your ability to manipulate with and interact with the mind, because before you pick the stick up, your mind was just all this crap around you, and now it's this thing that you're in control of. Like when you pick up a stick, you're actually in control of your own mind, like kinesthetically. And so that makes certain things just easier. The way paddles, if you put paddles on in the pool, you're like more in control of your mind. Same thing with fins. So with any sort of simple tool like that, as you cut through awareness, if you see to use it as a fin, you can run into or feel or manipulate consciousness like as powerfully as the most powerful human without the tool, right? And it's like mastery of tools is like part of the game. Without losing sensitivity to the environment, right? Like somebody who can swim really well is going to do better with paddles or fins or you know, whatever. The technology like equalizes the playing field, but you need to be conscious of what you're doing. Like you can do pretty good with fins and have no clue about larger kicking technique, like including the spine and shit like that. So you can go almost as fast. It's like functionally whatever, nearly as good, so why bother? But to not understand and not use the tools is also kind of showing a misunderstanding of consciousness as well. So like the weights and the hammer connect you to the water in different ways, the same way that like paddles connect you to the water in a different way than fins, which connects you to the water in a different way than a snorkel, which connects you to water in a different way than, like, I don't know, they have hip fin gimmicks and stuff. Look at all the different swim training stuff. So pool buoys, right? It affects all these devices that we have, affects your buoyancy or how you're cutting through consciousness or how you're like dragging, right? So then they, so the stick really easy lets you tune into this area. So all the stuff that can resonate with the stick is somehow tied together in a single source of awareness, right? So my body and the stick are both, you know, flowing. Like I'm part of this rhythm, and so the part of me is with this rhythm. Part of me is not. Like my nerves are firing at a totally different rate. My heart rate's beating, like whatever. There's a part of me that's in rhythm with this stick, and so the stick serves as a training aid to let me feel that part, like that part of me. The same way that a paddle lets you feel the pull better, or the fin lets you feel the kick better. And then obviously the guys that do this a lot are like the contact staff, whatever. You and this part of your body that senses it, you practice a little bit, and it's one thing. It's just one thing. So when you're not holding it with your hand anymore, but the mind that's holding the whole system is holding it, then all of a sudden all the juggly balance point stuff starts to become pretty obvious. That's all they're doing. And so then a useful integration thing would be to go swim using that same system, or to go run, or anyway, so we're at, yeah, 30 minutes, like halfway warmed up. And then obviously like scaling it to an intensity where you break a sweat, where the water is actually being pushed out of the body, but otherwise you're, finding the focus, grabbing something in the moment with it and staying attached to something, be it a stick or a ball or another person, or your momentum, your inertia, your breath, like it's staying attached. And then that looking is all the techniques too. So if you get that thing I'm talking about where the mind attaches to or grabs the body, which is the same as how the water in the pool grabs your body or holds your body, then that precipitates correct technique. So at that point you can feel free to up the intensity, or move on to something else.